Good morning and welcome to the At Home with Roby show. I'm Ashley Davis along with Trent Haston, President and CEO of the Roby family of companies. We're your hosts. Thanks for spending your Sunday morning with us. Whether you're in the car or on the couch, you're always at home with Roby. Visit us today at andrewroby.com. That's Andrew, R-O-B-Y.com. Trent, good morning to you. We're back in the studio at WBT another Sunday morning, a special Sunday morning, May the 8th. It's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom, Billy Haston, and Reagan Haston, and I'll go in-laws too. Carmen Haston, my brother's wife, a mother of two, and Raquel Mercer, a new mother. That's Reagan's sister. So
All
happy
right.
Mother's Day to everybody.
I'm going to do the same. My mother-in-law, May Cassom, my mom, Harriet Davis, and my wife, Johanna, and my sister-in-law. Since we're going extended family, my sister-in-law is having a baby next
this
month.
isn't extended. That is my two sisters.
Oh, you're right.
No.
You're exactly right. So, no, I'm not extended either. I should start this over before I get in trouble with my family.
No, I love this time of year. It's my favorite time of year. The reason being, everybody knows I live out on the west side of Charlotte, out in Wilkinson Boulevard, 270 or 74 coming into town's my corridor. I know Mother's Day is on its way because I'm able to stop about 10 spots between Moorhead and the river and buy roses for my wife on my way home for about 10 days in a row. And I asked the guy the other day as I was buying my fourth day in a row rose from him, I said, "You got any of them Cam 50th Super Bowl jerseys back in the back of your truck there you had out last month?" He sold me one for $2. No,
really?
I'm kidding.
He shipped those. I think they ship those overseas and they give them away in like third world countries.
Well, that's kind of like, I sell Christmas trees for church. I joked about it. The guy I buy them from, I asked him, I'm like, "What else you sell?" He does honeybees, but I always get on him about hustling pumpkins. He says, "Man, there's no money in pumpkins."
He sells honey from the honeybees?
He does sell honey.
That's cool.
But he is like, goes in when a house is infested with honeybees, and basically he's one of the go-to guys for the city, to bring in.
Gets them out.
Yeah.
I just saw something online about that the other day. It's funny you say that, about how you should call. It was a guy. It was advertising. It might have been this guy. To call them instead of just killing them, because a lot of people just go when they say bees, they'll spray them and kill them. But if they're actual honeybees, they're trying to show the difference between a wasp and a honeybee and what they look like so people would know.
Well, if you're listening to this, he showed me a bunch of pictures, like in soffit, in the overhang of a house or in the wall or up in the attic. If you find one or two honeybees, if you open it up, it's usually hundreds of thousands of honeybees. It's the most amazing thing. Go on, if you're listening at home, go on and Google honeybees, and you'll be able to see. It's really interesting.
And if you find them and you need to open up that soffit, probably not something you should do yourself. You should call Roby Handyman. They're going to be on the show later.
Because we
Dominic
got good
Thompson.
connections with my boy Jimmy.
That's it. Dominic's going to be on. He's he is with the Roby family of companies, runs Roby Handyman. He's going to be talking today about what you can do for mom, right? So it's Mother's Day. Maybe you're not like Trent. You didn't stop on the way home a couple times and pick up roses, and all of a sudden you realize you got to get something done. Give Dominic a call. He'll be on later to tell you how to get in touch with him. We're going to talk about, Trent, repairs you can do for your mother around the house or your wife, and also upgrades. So if you want to get something fixed or you want to get something a little bit nicer in the house, that's what Dominic's going to talk about today.
Well, I live beside my mother, and about 3 years ago, I told my dad, I said, I think I cut their grass till I was about 35 years old. Every time I cut grass, I'd cut both yards. And I told my dad, I said, I think it'd be a smart investment to hire a lawn guy. And he looked at me and said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I think yours quit." He hired a lawn guy. So we hired a lawn guy, but my mom had a tree fall, and I've been helping get it up and clean it up the last couple of weeks. And the other day I put about 4 hours in. I was throwing in her face, and she said, "Well, I keep your kids every time you need me to keep your kids. So thank you, Mom. I owe that to you."
That is a touching Mother's Day story, Trent.
Well, then my wife's like, and I love my mom dearly. We've lived next door my whole life, and my wife's like, "You need to talk less hard. You need to be more considerate when speaking to your mom." So, Mom, I'm working on it. So notice it and make me feel better.
It's no better day than to start that than on Mother's Day.
I've already started.
I hear you.
I mean, I took her a rose.
I like it. Folks, if you're tuning in, you're just listening to the At Home with Roby show. We're talking about Mother's Day, things you can do around the house. We're going to be joined by Dominic Thompson a little bit from Roby Handyman to give us some ideas of updates, repairs, things like that you can get done. We hope you're enjoying your Mother's Day. We appreciate you listening to the show. Trent, it's just, you talked about living out at the lake. This weather, it's
getting a little hot.
It's getting a little hot for early May. I won't lie to you, but part of me likes it. Part of me is a little worried.
No,
about it.
I love it. I'm not. Believe me, I'm grateful for what we have. I just like to talk about facts, but one of our clients was in, and they had moved down from Chicago, live up at Lake Norman. I stopped in and said hello to him. I said, what do you think about this 90-degree heat? I said, that's why y'all moved down here, isn't it? And he said, man, getting a little smoky. But it gets hot up in Chicago in that area. You know, that's kind of where I go visit the family.
It does, yeah.
Just about the same.
You go to Chicago in the summertime, it's hot, humid. You get that lake. You get a little breeze if you're over by the lake, but if you're not by the lake, it's humid and hot.
I like being by the lake and smelling that dead catfish. Well, excuse me, that's Lake Wiley. That's the Catawba River. That's what it smells like.
That's that pond.
Reagan's like, you're so partial to our river. She's like, you know how it smells? No. I will say my kids have been swimming in it for about 4 weeks now, and yesterday I took a plunge with them, so it was still really cold. But they are river rats. We've already had 2 with swimmer's ear and 1 with an ear infection.
Really?
So they're no holds barred in the water. And Rowan, my real athletic middle daughter, said, I asked her, I said, what's your favorite thing to do? Swim in the river? And she said, well, I like to clean up and swim about the same amount. And I said, what about soccer and violin? She said, no, I like to clean up and swim about the same amount.
Clean up as in
Yeah.
clean the house?
She wants to be a cleaning lady when she grows up.
Look at that.
Work her on a dump truck.
Look at that. Just like you were the long guy and got fired. Now she'll be.
No, I quit.
You quit. All right.
I retired.
All right, man. We're gonna take a break now. When we come back, we're gonna be joined by Dominic Thompson from Roby Handyman. We're gonna talk about all those projects you can do for Mom around the house on this Mother's Day. You're listening to the At Home with Roby show. Visit us today at andrewroby.com, or you can always click on the At Home with Roby tab at wbt.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back.